They tried to warn me, and I will wish this on nobody, but flying with food poisoning has to be one of the worst things you could ever do. I went from living my best life in Southeast Asia to being bedbound for the last 2 days of my holiday. I then had the joys of flying 13 hours back from Bangkok over to London. So come along with me on my journey, which all begins at Bangkok Airport. And here we are in Bangkok's Savannah Bhumi International Departures with around 2.5 hours before our flight, just in time to actually say we were early this time around. And I actually secured myself a seat with extra legroom, and this was just one of the exit row seats. It cost me around £180 in total, so £90 each way. And as you'll see later on in the video, was definitely worth it. Today's flight is on the Boeing 777-300, and on this Bangkok to London route, the cabins available are Economy, Royal Silk, which is the business class offering, and Royal First, which is the first class service. And maybe for another video, but the business class on some of the older Boeing 777s, such as the one that we flew on today, looked a bit outdated. It just didn't scream luxury to me. However, the retrofitted Royal First looks amazing. Definitely something I would love to experience. And actually, Thai Airways were in the news this week with the announcement of their new business class product, which is to be fitted on their A320s. If you haven't hit the subscribe button already, please make sure to do so, as I've got a ton of flight reviews coming up, especially with British Airways, so that should be interesting. But we're still in Bangkok Savannah Bhumi, and we've had a look around some of the lounges available. We actually went into the wrong lounge at first, but we came across a miracle lounge. That's actually the name of it. The food was okay, but it was really just a chance to recharge. They had a pretty nice selection of beverages, and this was available through Priority Pass. Don't get it confused, the seats on the left are also economy. I thought the different colours maybe meant they were like premium or they had extra space or something, but it's just the same economy. And we're finally at seat 49H, where I'll be spending the next 12 hours of my life. And look, I think the prices are steep for the extra legroom, but it's definitely worth it. It's significantly cheaper than paying for a business class seat. And it's kind of similar to what Virgin Atlantic and British Airways are charging. And, well, a very quick tour of the toilets. It's just your standard Boeing 777 toilets, nothing spectacular. I think I say that on every review when it's in economy. But even in business class, the toilets are just standard unless you're flying on one of the A380s or something like that. But they've also included a nice little smelling fragrance. I didn't spray it on me. But, maybe the toilets could have done with a slight colour change, maybe purple across. I don't know if that's a good colour in the toilets, but yeah, maybe we should head back to our seat.
ท่านโปรดให้ความสนใจชมการสาธิตและปฏิบัติตามเครื่องหมายสัญลักษณ์และคำแนะนำต่อไปนี้ค่ะ For your own safety, please study the following demonstrations, procedures and signs. โปรด helping others. เสื้อชูชีพจะเก็บอยู่ในที่เก็บใต้ที่นั่งหรือในที่ซึ่งมีเครื่องหมายแสดงไว้ Your life vest is stowed under your seat or
Shortly after takeoff, dinner was served. Now, I went with the pre-ordered gluten-free meal, hence why it looks so plain and boring, you know, white rice with the vegetables. But it turned out to be for the best, as I was recovering from food poisoning. I did have a look around though to see what other passengers were having, and it smelled amazing. It was like some sort of Thai green curry mixed with rice. It looked really good.
I wonder what country we're just flying over.
How are we feeling on today's flight?
I've actually slept really well. I slept for a good 9 hours.
Good.
Yeah.
Luckily for Lynn, the person sat on the window seat left quite early into the flight, and they moved to a different seat, so she was able to stretch out. But I didn't have the greatest of all sleeps. Even though I did have the extra leg room, I did have food poisoning, so you know, there was a few trips to the toilet, and I definitely got my steps in on the flight. I did try to have a watch of, you know, something on their in-flight entertainment, but nothing really stood out to me. But there are loads of functionalities with, you know, being able to charge your phone, and there was also Wi-Fi on board. For breakfast, we were offered an omelette. Lynn actually got a tofu scramble, which looked pretty nice, nicer than what I had anyway. And there was also some gluten-free bread and some more fruits, which it was really nice. And that's Lynn receiving her meal. I would have to say the food wasn't the greatest, but I don't want to judge Thai Airways on that, as we both requested for specific meals. And yeah, I mean, I've never requested for a gluten-free meal on a flight and had an actually nice meal, so I guess that's just an industry standard. And just like that, we're back in London Heathrow. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button and definitely subscribe if you haven't already. This was a really hard video to film due to the food poisoning, but I just had to push through and get as much content as possible so I can do the voiceover for YouTube later on. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day.